Greg's been talking a lot about gold and silver, and we're happy to say we have lots of gold and silver in the discovery we've made. Even though primarily this is a copper discovery, we often have copper grades in around the 1% range, but we also have very significant credits in gold and silver. And today I'm going to give you a high-level overview of the company, where our project is located in Peru, and kind of our vision and view of what the copper market is going to do going forward. But the second half of the talk, I really wanted to focus on what we think are the critical aspects that are going to make this discovery much bigger. As Greg mentioned, there's the discoverers, there's the developers, and there's the miners. We're in the exploration part of that spectrum, but we have made a discovery. And really the question that investors should be asking themselves now is, how big is this discovery going to be? So I'm going to give you some technical background as to what our view and vision is of this project based on how big we think this project can be. I will be making forward-looking statements, so please be aware of that. Anytime you're investing in a junior company, it's really critical to assess four aspects. It starts with the management team. Who are they and what's their track record? You also have to look at the capital structure. And one indication that a company's got a good project and is headed in the right direction is whether or not they have a strategic investor on their share register. And we're happy to say that we have Gold Fields, the seventh largest gold producer in the world. They came in 2019 and put $8 million into the company in a private placement at a 40% premium to market. They recently topped up and increased their equity ownership from 16.8 up to 19.9%. So that gives you some sense of the confidence that they have in the project. And obviously it's good for us to see that and to have that kind of support. The other place that you have to look is where is the project located, or where is the company focused? And first and foremost, you need to be in a mining country. You need to be in a place that attracts foreign investment in mining so that discoveries can get developed. And also, you need to be in a place where the infrastructure supports the development of your project. There's lots of great discoveries out there and lots of juniors that have great projects. But if you're located in the middle of nowhere, you have to ask yourself the question, is this discovery ever going to be developed in my lifetime? And I ask that question to myself a lot. And then, of course, it comes down to the asset. What's the quality of the asset? And Greg's already touched on this. High grade is king, right? So if you have a high grade deposit, it means you can weather the commodity cycles from high to low to high to low. And we know we live in a cyclical commodity world. It's always been that case, and it always will be that case. But you also have to think about the other aspects of a high grade deposit. If you have a high grade deposit, it means you're moving less rock in order to get the same amount of metal out of the ground as a low grade deposit. So it has very significant environmental and social implications for finding and mining high grade deposits. So I'm going to take you through just a high level overview. This is our share structure. Again, Gold Fields recently moved up to 19.99%. We are cashed up. We have just over $9 million in the bank. It's enough money for our fully funded 26,000 meter drill program that's going on right now. We have 2 drill rigs on the property operating 24 hours a day. We're bringing a 3rd drill rig in April. So we're rapidly advancing our discovery, both in terms of resource drilling and also in terms of exploration drilling. The management team at Chakana, we have 3 economic geologists on the board, and you can see John Black there, Doug Kerwin, and myself. And experience really counts for a lot in this industry. And you first have to make discoveries, and then you have to take those discoveries along that path to turn into a mine. And not all discoveries become a mine. It's very common to make a technical discovery, but it never turns economic. And you can see the number of discoveries that John and Doug and I count in our careers. 16 discoveries, 6 of those have turned into mines. And Soledad is certainly a 17th discovery that we would count. And we're absolutely convinced that this will turn into a mine. The map on the right shows the country of Peru. Peru is a great mining country, as I already mentioned. There are multiple world-class mines being operated today in Peru. Mining is a very, very important part of the economy in Peru, and never more importantly than right now in the middle of COVID. It's a mining industry that was able to restart, get back into production, and create another, revive the pulse of the economy in Peru. Peru is it's the second largest gold producer in the world, and it's the largest it's the second largest silver and copper producer in the world, and the largest gold producer in Latin America. So it's a very important country in terms of global production. One of the reasons Peru is a favored nation for mining is because it has very low energy costs. A lot of Peru's energy comes from hydroelectric power. And so that sets them apart from many countries that don't have the ability to generate lower cost energy. The forecast for copper is really exceptional, and it's been developing for well over a decade. A lot of the giant mines are going out of production. Their head grades are dropping. There are numerous supply disruptions that affect the global copper mining industry. And that, combined with the fact that companies have not invested in finding new deposits, has left the pipeline of quality copper projects to develop relatively bare. So that's kind of the foundation for the forecast. But then you add on top of that the green energy initiatives, the fact that people are starting to think of metals as energy is critical to the forecast for copper, because the backbone of the clean energy systems and electric vehicle proliferation is going to be copper. So there's going to be even greater supply and demand issues with respect to copper. COVID-19 has been devastating in Peru, as it has been in many places in the world. The government was quick to realize that mining was an important part of restarting the economy. And so we have been able to restart our exploration programs. Mines have gone back into production. They're still working really hard to overcome the challenges of COVID, and they're going through a second wave right now. We've spent a lot of our time in the past year looking after the communities, working with the communities, making donations, and trying to help the safety and health and welfare of our employees, our contractors, and also the communities that we work. So I've got 6 aspects here that we've learned about this project. We've been drilling this project since 2017. We now have over 39,000 meters, multiple discoveries of high-grade tourmaline breccia pipes that host the copper, gold, and silver. And it's really these 6 aspects that determine ultimately how big this discovery is going to grow to be. Footprints of mineral systems is a very common concept in economic geology. It's really understanding how big the mineral system is that you're working in. And within that footprint is really where you can expect to make new discoveries. In our case, we're drilling and discovering high grades of copper, gold, and silver in tourmaline breccia pipes. So the question is, how many breccia pipes? We've got 40 tourmaline altered and brecciated areas at surface that we've already found. We've got blind breccia pipes. So we know that number is going to be a big number. It's potentially going to be in the order of 50 to 100 breccia pipes. How deep do the breccia pipes go? We've never seen the bottom of one of our breccia pipes yet, even though we've drilled 900-meter deep holes. We've verified many times in our drilling of breccia pipes that they get bigger at depth. And we've now recently confirmed that 2 breccia pipes that sit close together at surface coalesce into one larger breccia at depth. So we expect to see that as we continue to drill. And then we see a very impressive high-grade upgrading of the breccia pipes through a late copper event, and I'll show you some great examples of that. So let's start with the footprint. The footprint can be measured in a number of different ways. The simplest way for us is simply to plot a map showing where the tourmaline occurs, because the tourmaline is intimately associated with the breccia pipes and the copper, gold, and silver mineralization. And you can see on this map here, all of those symbols are where tourmaline breccia pipes and tourmaline alteration has been documented at surface. And that footprint is 4 kilometers by 3 kilometers. That's a very, very large mineral footprint. And again, within that footprint is where we expect to find additional discoveries. I'll jump into a video now because it very graphically illustrates how these breccia pipes sit in the hillside, and you'll gain an appreciation not only for their geologic occurrence, but also the way these videos might be mined in the future. All of those red areas on the map, those are all tourmaline breccia pipes or occurrences. You can see now the three-dimensional aspect of the breccia pipes as they sit in the ground. We're on a mountainside here, so getting access by drilling or driving tunnels into the mountainside is an easy way to get access to these breccia pipes. As we start rotating around, you can see the breccia pipes are vertically extensive. Many of them are getting bigger at depth. We've already discovered a blind breccia pipe in our drilling. And as we zoom in now, you can start to get a better feel for how these pipes might coalesce together at depth. This is Paloma East and Paloma West, a recent discovery. We fully expect Paloma West to merge into the Paloma East body, again, creating a much bigger breccia body at depth. And that breccia pipe on the left, the Paloma East, has been drilled down to 627 meters. This is HUANCARAMA, the current discovery we just announced in January, and we're drilling this out now. 2 breccia pipes sitting at surface that coalesce into a very large breccia system at depth, 100 meters by 60 meters. Again, these large diameters of breccia pipes will give us tons as we go deeper. And then as we back out, we're going to overlay the soil geochemistry showing the gold enrichment in the soils. And you can see the entire mountainside is anomalous in gold. So again, getting back to that footprint, this is where we expect to make future discoveries within that area of anomalous gold. Blind breccia pipes, I already mentioned it. We were drilling breccia pipe 1 that crops out at surface, and we discovered a blind breccia pipe just 40 meters off to the north. We also know that the breccia pipes are vertically extensive. We've drilled, again, 900-meter holes. We have never seen the bottom of one of our breccia pipes yet, even though we have breccia in breccia 6 down to 820 meters from surface, breccia 1 down to 490 meters. And again, it's just all open at depth. The breccia pipe geometry is really important, not only from a tonnage standpoint, but also from a mining standpoint. And because these are breccia pipes that did not erupt at surface, these are not volcanic features. They are breccia pipes that formed in the crust, and there were still probably 2 kilometers of rock above these breccia pipes, and that controls the shape. They actually come to a point, and they actually get bigger at depth, and they get as big as the intrusion at depth that sourced the volatiles that created these breccias is starting off at that size. So we can see in this, the 2 maps on the right, the plan maps at different levels. It's shown in the blue plans on the left in the 3-dimensional diagram. The breccia pipe doubled within 100 meters of surface. You can see breccia Paloma East, again, 25 meters at surface, it goes to 50 meters, and then it goes to 100 meters. And an important math trigonometry lesson here, when you double the diameter of a cylinder, you quadruple the volume of that cylinder. So this is very important in terms of generating tons. HUANCARAMA, the new discovery announced in January, the 2 breccia pipes on the east side, H1 and H2, you can see them in the cross section. They occur as 2 separate pipes. They're separated by host rock in between. And as we go deeper, these pipes come together, generating a much bigger footprint. And then if we step back and look at the north half of our property, all of those breccia pipes that have circles or ovals around them are areas where we think that coalescence of these breccias at depth could occur, again, generating much larger volumes. We even see this in a detailed way where between breccia 5 and breccia 6, there's 550 meters apart at surface. At depth, they're 340 meters to get apart. They're actually pointing and vectoring to a common source. And then the high grade upgrading is really spectacular. We see it inside the breccia pipe where the entire rock can be taken out by chalcopyrite. It's the copper mineral that hosts it's the mineral that hosts the copper, and we even get zones with massive sulfide development. And what's even really spectacular is you look at those 2 core boxes down below where we've got grades of 5% copper and 4 grams gold and 275 grams silver. This is mineralization outside the breccia pipes, and we haven't even focused on that target yet. We've been solely focused on the mineralization inside the breccia pipe. So really some very exciting upside to go. We get lots of questions about the mineability of these breccia pipes. We've had 3 different mining engineers weigh in on this project and spent a lot of time studying it, including Goldfield's mining engineer, and they all conclude the same thing. Sublevel mining, it's ideal that these breccia pipes are closely spaced together and that there's elevation working in your favor so that you can drift in horizontally to get working faces on these breccia pipes. And you can, have multiple pipes and multiple levels within pipes operating and producing at the same time to scale up production. So just to summarize, Chakana, if you invest in Chakana, you're not only getting great exposure to copper, you're also getting exposure to gold and silver with very high credits in both of those metals. The Soledad project is a new discovery. The question is, how big is it going to be? We will have our first resource out this year. It'll just be based on 6 or 7 breccia pipes in the top 300 meters. But as I've hopefully demonstrated to you today, the upside potential on this project is absolutely enormous. And we will be working hard to continue to explore this potential and take it to a much higher level than the initial resource that we'll get out this year.